live again. So I felt that it was time to go live again. It's been a minute, y'all. So I'm gonna let y'all come up in here. The people that's gonna come in here. I'm gonna wait till y'all come in here. Okay. So today video, y'all. Today video is going to be about telepathic communication. So we're gonna dive deep. We're gonna see what come up. We're gonna talk about if we ever experienced it. I know I have. I don't know about y'all, but I know I have. And we're gonna talk and we're gonna get into it. I hope that y'all have been amazing. I hope that y'all have been doing amazing. I hope that y'all had an amazing 8-8 portal. I gave y'all some things to do. I don't know if y'all did them or not, but I know me, I know I had an amazing 8-8 portal. It definitely feel like a transition. It definitely feel like a rebirth. Something shifted. You can feel the shift in the air. You can feel the shift on earth. So I hope that y'all did something with this portal. So I know it's early, so I might have, I know a lot of people may be at work, a lot of people may be at school. So we gonna talk though. And when y'all watch this video, y'all watch it when y'all supposed to. So let's get into it. So before we dive deep into the topic, we're gonna talk about my experience I had yesterday. So yesterday, y'all, I did some ancestor veneration work. So I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I cried. When I say I cried, so it's been a minute since I've just danced for my ancestors in front of the altar or sung for my ancestors in front of the altar. So yesterday I said I was gonna do that, and that's what I did. I sung a couple songs from them. And it was the last song, y'all. It was the last song on the list that really, really made me cry, y'all, but in a good way, out of gratitude, as well as after I did that work, I noticed some energy was coming in. When I say some energy was coming in, I was sensing something within my being for me to do something. So, hey, y'all, as y'all come in, I want y'all to put where y'all from in the chat. Welcome, welcome. Um, as I what I was saying, y'all. So after I did the spiritual work, after I did the ancestor veneration work, I was feeling in my spirit I was supposed to do something. And I feel for a long time I was neglecting to do it due to trauma. I've healed a lot of things. But without us knowing, when we don't acknowledge certain things, we're neglecting certain aspects of ourselves. And I had to realize that. I had to realize that when I don't want to acknowledge this or I'm neglecting this aspect of me, it's something that I need to face, right? So I did that. And after I took care of what I was feeling in my spirit to take care of, the energy shifted. I felt different. I felt better. So yeah, I just wanted to tell y'all my experience and let y'all know it's okay to cry. It's okay to cry sad tears, happy tears, angry tears, releasing, letting go, expressing, right? If you keep it in, how can you heal? If you keep it in, how can you remember this is just a journey? This is just me processing emotions. So, because I know I'm just processing emotions, I'm going to feel what I need to feel so I can process and release, right? So, Telepathic communication. So I don't know if y'all ever experienced it, but I have multiple times. Telepathic communication. Um, I know my wife and I always have moments where we say the same thing at the same time. And over the years, I felt it has got stronger. It's been things where we have been on the phone with my godmother and she's talking to us and we would say the same thing. We would give the same answer. We would reply the same answer at the same time. So I'm gonna give y'all my experience and my take on it. So I don't know if y'all know, but telepathic communication is all about you picking up on the wavelengths of other people near you. So, for example, we all have wavelengths within our brain, right? Alpha, data, what is it? Alpha, data. I can't remember the other ones right now, but we have different wavelengths within our brain. So when we're processing different things, there are frequencies being broadcast, and we have the ability to pick up on other people's thoughts. We have the ability, hey y'all, hey, we have the ability to pick up on other people's thoughts. So, for example, if you've been around someone for so long, right? Most likely y'all think the same way. Without y'all knowing, y'all think the same way. So y'all are friends or y'all hang around each other because y'all think the same way. Y'all have things in common. So when you're around someone for so long, because we are energetic beings, we have the ability to tap into other people's wavelengths. If we're vibrating at the same frequency, if we're doing the same things, if we're thinking the same ways, we have the ability to tap in to our consciousness and frequency, the wavelengths that's going out, and as well as the wavelengths that we are receiving, right? At all times. Without us knowing, we know we are broadcasting frequencies. We are broadcasting emotions. We are projectors. That's what we do. We project energy, right? So hey y'all, I can't see y'all comments right now, but hey y'all. So within us living on earth and within us being on this realm, there is so much going on. And I feel we have more power than we give ourselves. And the power is always within. Without us knowing, I feel we give a lot of our power away because we're not aware of our power. And because we are not aware of our power, we think that we're limited. We think that we're just this human body, but in reality, we're so much more. So once I started realizing, dang, I have the ability to pick up on other people' wavelengths. So let me tell y'all my experience. So I want to say it was 2022. It could have been 2020, but I think it was 2022. And in 2022, I remember me going to the Voodoo Temple. I told y'all I've been a part of the Voodoo Temple. And I remember the first time that my wife and I walked in there, everybody was introducing themselves, right? And it was this one goddess. She introduced herself, and someone was like, "She can read minds." And when they said that, I was like, "What you mean?" I'm like, "What you mean she can read minds?" Like, so you telling me basically I have to be aware of the thoughts I'm having because we have people around us that's able to tap into what you're thinking. So I feel without us knowing, sometimes when we find out that people have psychic abilities or or people have different gifts, we unknowingly start acting or moving differently. For example, if you find out that someone has the ability to read minds, are you going to have certain thoughts around them, or are you going to stop the negative thoughts? Are you going to stop certain things you usually think because you know that this person can read minds, right? So without us knowing, sometimes that happen, as well as My godmother. My godmother can read people's minds. And I've learned over the years that when you have certain gifts, when you have certain abilities, it's up to you to do what's right with your gifts and your abilities. Just because you have the ability to read people's minds or have the ability to heal people or have the ability to do these different things doesn't mean that you're supposed to take advantage of that. Doesn't mean that you're supposed to use your gifts and use it against people or go into people's privacy because you have the ability to tap into somebody's brain, right? So I feel over the years I have seen more and more that we as the people, we have a lot of psychic abilities, and without us knowing, we could be someone and say we out to eat, and it's like five of us, and we having a conversation, and then next thing you know, me and this other person say the same thing at the same time. Was it because we both picked up on each other brain links? Was it because we read each other minds? What was it? At that same time, at the same place, we had that connection in that moment. So I feel without us knowing, we do this all the time. We're just not aware of what we're doing. And we think it's a coincidence that these type of things are happening. We think, oh, it's nothing. We've been doing that. It's normal, right? It should be normal. Yes, it should be normal. It should be normal to be able to communicate with each other without having to move our mouths. Yes, it should be normal because we're that powerful. And I feel, what movie was that? Practical Magic. I don't know if y'all ever watched the movie Practical Magic, but it's an amazing movie. I don't want to tell y'all everything, but in the movie Practical Magic, one of the sisters was in danger, right? She was in danger, and the other sister wasn't even by her. Like, she was somewhere else. I don't know where she was. She probably was at the store or something. And she was able to pick up on what the sister was saying telepathically because they're so connected. She was able to pick up on that energy. She was able to hear her sister, right? We think that just because we're not near someone, they don't feel us, they don't see us, they don't sense us. But how many times have, for example, how many times have an ancestor has transitioned and you say, I sense this person, I sense my great grandpa, I sense my cousin, I sense these people? It's because you're picking up on their energy. Yes, they're not in their physical body anymore. It doesn't mean that they don't still have an essence. It doesn't mean that they don't still have an energy signature. So, within us knowing that we are spiritual beings, we know that we're connected to this other side. And because we know that we're connected to this other side, we know that we're always being communicated with, whether it's with another human and we're picking up on their energy, we're picking up on their emotions, we're picking up on their thoughts, or whether it's with a spirit. So lately, I've noticed. So I went to my mother-in-law's, well, my in-laws. I went to my in-laws, and I think it was like 3 weeks ago. It was my mother-in-law birthday, and we spent the weekend over there. We spent the weekend over there, and every time when it was time for me to go to sleep, I realized that all I heard was different spirits within the house. Okay, so I already knew, y'all. I already knew that this house, first, this house was built in 1960. So I already knew that it's spirits in this house all the time. I hear them, I see them, I sense them, right? So going to sleep at her house 3 weeks ago, because I slept at my in-laws house before, but it was something that was different. I don't know if it's because my gifts are, kicking on more and more and more, and I'm able to sense things and hear things more. But I'm telling y'all, every time I lay down to go to sleep, it's like all type of spirits was just talking to me. And I was like, okay, I'm feeling and I'm sensing what's happening and being aware. These are not my thoughts. These are not me talking. You have to be aware that just because you hear something in your mind or you think you thought something, in reality, it may not even be your thought. It may be somebody else's thought, but you're not aware of that because you think it's you, but in reality, it's not you, right? So I feel this happens all the time. And another example, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. My wife and I was at the park. You know, we walk around in nature all the time. And we had brought an orange with us. I think we both had an orange. And we eating on the orange. And then next thing you know, we both at the same time broke a piece of the orange off and put it at a tree. Now, what would you call that? Would you call that coincidence? Would you call that, I don't know what you would even call that, because to me it felt like alignment. For me, it felt like we both was picking up on the same message at the same time, right? the the universe was sending out this message, or spirit was sending out this message to do this, give an offering. It couldn't even been a tree. It could have been Mother Nature that was sending out this message, give me a piece of your orange, right? And at that same time, at that same tree, we decided to do that. So we was able to pick up on that frequency. We was able to pick up on that download because we're always receiving messages. We're always receiving information and we're not aware of it. This is something that is happening all the time. So once we start tapping into us knowing that we have the ability to do these things, it's when things starts to shift. That's when things start to look more clear because we're seeing, we're sensing, we're hearing, right? These senses are not just here for no reason. And I'm not just talking about the main senses. I'm not just talking about sight, hear, smell, touch, but the other sense that we ignore. We ignore these things. We act like we don't see things. Why you acting like you didn't just see that at the corner of your eye? Why you acting like you could just see that? Right? It's these things that we play blind to. We act like they're not happening, but they are happening. You not tripping. You seen that. You seen that. You felt that. You're not tripping. So we have to know that within us being these amazing beings, we have amazing powers. And through life, through trauma, through everything that we experience, we have dormant gifts, we have dormant abilities, and we have suppressed a lot of what we feel and what we sense due to our environment, due to the people that surround us, due to what we experienced in life. So I feel it's a time right now. It is the time for us to start embracing ourselves more. It is the time for us to start seeing ourselves more and being ourselves. No more neglect, no more acting scared, no more fear, no more feeling doubt of what we feel, what we see, who we are. And we know that because we're on this journey, we know that we're always being divinely guided. We know that something's leading us. We know that this power within our being is leading us to who we're supposed to be and where we're supposed to be. So nothing is coincidental. Everything you have experienced has been for a reason. And I feel a lot of us, I'm just speaking, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I feel a lot of us have spiritual gifts and abilities that we suppress with alcohol, that we suppress with weed, that we suppress with pills, that we suppress with food, that we suppress with sex. We're talking about it. Let's talk about it. So we think we going crazy. We think we tripping. We think, something's wrong with us. But in reality, we having premonitions, we having visions, we're seeing shit, we're hearing things, and you're not going crazy, right? So I think it's time for us to start back tapping into our true divinity. It's time for us to start back standing up for us and standing up for what we was born with. I'm no longer feeling bad or sad for my psychic abilities. I'm no longer feeling sad or bad for what I was born with. If I was born with this gift, why would I feel sad? Why would I make myself feel bad if I was born with this ability, right? So I feel so many people are not aware of the abilities that we have, even down to us being able to heal ourselves. We know, because we've talked about it before, y'all. We know that we have the ability to heal ourselves from the inside out. And we also know that the only true limit that we have is ourselves. The only true limit that we have is our minds. And we know that we have the ability to build a cage for our minds, or we could be the person to break that cage down. We could be the person to unlock that cage. We could be the person to open that cage up, right? And I feel we unknowingly don't know that we have the key. We always have had the key. You have multiple keys. You have so many keys within your being, and they're there to open multiple doors. But sometimes we get stuck at one door. Sometimes we forget that I'm infinite. We forget that it's so many different possibilities. And I feel no possibility, no direction, no path in reality is wrong, because it's going to lead you back to where you're supposed to be. It's going to lead you back to your true source, your true self, right? And so once we start acknowledging, because it's all about acknowledging. Hey y'all, I cannot see. Let me see. Hey y'all, I'm from Houston. Hey. Um it's all about us acknowledging, because if we don't acknowledge, how can we face ourselves? If we don't acknowledge, how can we know our true selves, right? So it's all about us acknowledging who we are, and digging deep within ourselves, digging deep within our being, digging deep within our roots. And when I say roots, your ancestors. When I say roots, the stars. When I say roots, I mean the ethers. When I say roots, I mean source. So we have to get back to wanting to know more about ourselves. We have to get back to wanting to see ourselves. We have to get back to hearing ourselves, right? So I feel a lot of us has experienced a lot of what people would call supernatural things, but in reality, that should be normal. That should be something that we experience all the time. But I feel we don't experience it all the time because we block ourselves off, because we suppress ourselves, because we don't hear ourselves, because we don't see ourselves. And because of that, all it does is suppress more. All it does is have us feeling like something's missing, because we're not tapping into that aspect of ourselves. We're not hearing that aspect of ourselves. We're not feeling that aspect of ourselves. So once we start doing that, that's when so many different doors start to open up, and we're not aware of that. We're not aware of that. I'm drinking some tea, y'all, some herb tea. So I feel it's going to be more and more people coming into themselves. It's going to be more and more people that seeing themselves, sensing themselves, sensing energy around them. I know I'm not the only person that go places and feel people. I know I'm not the only person that go places and see things. I know I'm not the only person that experience these things. So it's about not feeling bad for your gifts, not feeling bad for who you are. And it's about being true to who you are. Because if you're not being true to who you are, who are you being? What are you being? And who are you being it for? Are you doing it for society? Are you doing it for your parents? Are you doing it for likes and views? What are you doing it for? I feel we live in a society where we always want to please others. We always want to feel validated. We always want to do it for the likes, do it for the views. And we get to a point where we see fake things and we think it's real. For example, I remember being in nail school. It could have been 2022. I remember being in nail school and this girl in my class, um, she was like, I want my body, I want to get my body done like Kim Kardashian. And I said, well, her body is not real, so why would you want your body to be like hers? So in reality, we have to start pouring into things that's real. We need to start craving things that's real. We need to start craving things that have substance. We need to start craving things that help us grow, right? Not fake, not mass, not one thing appearing this way, but in reality it's something totally different, right? I feel we live in a society that applauds fakeness. And when it comes down to originality, when it comes down to being real, when it comes down to being yourself, it's not the same. It's a difference. So it's really about us getting back to ourselves. It's really about us finding out that we're so much more powerful, where we have all these things within. Hey, y'all, somebody was calling. We have so many more things within our beings that are waiting to be awakened, that is waiting to be seen, that is waiting to be discovered. But because we don't sit with ourselves, because we don't face ourselves, because we feel like we have to be overstimulated 24/7, we don't see this. We're not aware of this because we're so focused on outside things. We're so focused on bills. We're so focused on relationship. We're so focused on the next thing that we're not seeing. We're not hearing because we're not being. We don't be still enough. We don't stay in one spot enough. So how can we figure out who we truly are if we're always moving, if we're always on go, right? So I feel society is built off of go, 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 go. If you're not going, if you're not hustling, if you're not doing something, then you're not doing something, right? You're not having movement in life. We've been taught to live off of survival mode. We've been taught to get it, get it, get it, get it. we've been taught to do overtime. We've been taught to do all these years in school. We don't ever have time for ourselves. We don't ever have time for our being, right? So I had to realize this within myself. I had to be aware within my reality to know that this was happening and this is happening. But it's up to me to figure out who I'm truly am. I can let people project who they think I am. I can let people have perspectives of me and perceptions of me. I can do all of that, but what really matters, y'all want to know what really matters, y'all? What really matters is what you feel about yourself. What really matters is if you love yourself. What really matters is, do you feel good when you wake up? What matters is, do you feel good when you go to sleep? These type of things is what truly matters, right? We can have all the material things. They're here for us to have. But in reality, it's up to us to know that it's something more valuable within our being, something that's priceless, something that worth is worth so much within us that we have the ability to tap in within ourselves. And it may seem foreign because you're new to it. It may feel foreign because you never heard of it. It may feel foreign because you're unsure. But I'd rather be asking the questions and doing the inner work and pointing to myself to figure out who I am than to not know who I am, to be unsure about the person in the mirror. So many people look in the mirror, y'all, every day. So many people look in the mirror and are not sure at what they are, who they are. So many people look in the mirror and it's not sure about why did they come back here? What was their purpose? Do they even matter? They do matter, but because they've been told you are this person, you have to be this way, you got to act this way. If you're not this way, then right. So in reality, I start to realize it's not about what someone else want me to be. It's not about who someone else see me being, but it's about who I see myself being. And I feel, as well as yesterday when I was telling y'all at the beginning of the live how I did some ancestor veneration work yesterday and I cried. I also realized the feeling that I felt after doing the work. I felt my ancestor spirits, and this was similar to the feeling I felt when I went to my grandma's funeral. I want to say I was like 11 or 12, I'm not sure. And I felt this feeling in my stomach, and I thought something was wrong with me because I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware that I had psychic abilities. I wasn't aware that I had the ability to pick up on the dead. I wasn't aware that I was able to sense and feel spirits around me. So I didn't know what was happening. So yesterday, I felt that same feeling. And instead of me feeling bad for that feeling or not wanting to feel that feeling, I embraced that feeling, right? I was aware of what I was feeling because I allowed myself to feel what I was feeling in that moment. I'm gonna pull one card, y'all. One card for anybody that watched this video in the future or is watching this video. One card for the energy for you guys for today before we get out of here. As well as we see it in the movies that we watch. X-Men, right? What else? Marvels. All these different movies are showing us who we are. All these different movies are showing us our possibilities. All these different movies are showing us you have that same power. Where do you think they get these ideas for these movies from? Where do you think they come from? They have to come from somewhere. They've been studying somebody, right? So in reality, we're always getting showed who we are, but we're not aware that we're being showed this is me. I am you. We are a reflection of each other, right? I'm gonna pull one card, y'all. I don't got my book in here. I may have to go get it. Pull one card for y'all before we go. I got some errands to run. I hope that y'all have an amazing day, weekend, whenever y'all see this video. I hope that good things happen for you and to you. I hope that you smile today. I hope that you make yourself smile today. Okay, y'all. The card that came out today is the King of Cups. The King of Cups, y'all. Respect, faith, consideration, support, imagination, elegance, kindness, good advice, a good listener. Didn't I say that we have to be good listeners of ourselves? We have to be able to hear ourselves. We have to be able to see ourselves, right? Didn't I say that? Good listener, support, being supported. We're always being supported, whether we're aware of it or not. Good shit are happening for you behind the scenes, whether you know it or not. Things are working out for you behind the scenes, whether you know it or not. Things are always happening for you in amazing ways. You're just not aware of it. You have to know that good things are coming, good things are happening in your cup. Because the King of Cups, he has a cup. In your cup is filled. Because if we're watching my channel, we talk about self-love, and we're always pouring into ourselves, and we're always knowing that we have the ability to grow, we have the ability to thrive, we have the ability to be amazing because we are, right? So if you haven't been pouring into your cup, maybe it's time for you to start pouring into your cups, right? Because we can't expect other people to pour into our cups and we're not pouring into our own cups. That's not how reality works. That's not how life works. So I hope that y'all have a amazing day. I hope that something amazing happened for y'all today. Before we go, I do want to talk about my self-love journal. If y'all don't know, I do have a self-love journal. And I made this self-love journal because I used to walk around like everything was cool and dandy, but in reality, I was hurting on the inside. So I decided to take off my mask, right, and really start pouring into me and loving on me and healing me. So I make this self-love journal to help other women do the same because we have the power to heal. We have the power to overcome any and everything. So I want y'all to know that y'all have the ability to tap in within yourselves. And what I was just talking about, this page say, how you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. Be the love you want to receive. I was just talking about pouring in cups. You can't expect other people to pour in your cup if you're not pouring into your own cup, right? We have to be aware of these things. Before we go, I'm going to read you 3 affirmations out of my journal. My voice is important. I add value to the world just by existing. I come from love, therefore I am love. You are love. You are amazing. And I hope that y'all have an amazing day, an amazing week. Y'all comment in the comments below, like and subscribe if you haven't put your notifications on because they're going to be notifying everybody. And I hope that y'all have an amazing day. Thank everyone that has came into the live, even the ones that left. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the ones that's going to watch this video. I'm grateful for the ones that's going to watch the video in the future. Until next time, healing honey, peace.